Gigantic cracks beneath the supervolcano of the Phlegrean fields. What geophysicists have just discovered beneath the Campi Flegrei sounds like something out of a disaster movie, but it's scientific reality. And this at a time when the supervolcano is already rumbling and regularly triggering strong earthquakes. Be sure to stay tuned until the end. We'll take a close look at just how great the danger is now. A warm welcome, everyone. I regularly report here on the channel about the Campi Flegrei. Last year, I was also on site to create a documentary with original footage for you. If you appreciate that and never want to miss any news about the Italian supervolcano again, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Subscribing costs nothing. You won't miss anything anymore, and you'll be helping me out. If you've already subscribed, you can really support me by giving this video a thumbs up. Maybe we'll even hit 5,000 likes. Thanks a lot in advance, guys. But now let's head to Italy. The Campi Flegrei are a true giant among European volcanoes. When this supervolcano erupted almost 40,000 years ago, it buried half of Europe under a layer of ash. Residues from this eruption were found as far away as Siberia and Egypt. Since then, there have only been minor eruptions. In 1538, for example, an eruption created Monte Nuovo in what is now the city of Pozzuoli. But since 2005, things have been getting increasingly uncomfortable. The ground has risen by a total of 1.40 meters. At the same time, volcanic earthquakes are continuing to increase. 2 months ago in June, they even reached a magnitude of 4.6, the strongest quake ever recorded in the region. So as you can see, the situation is somewhat alarming. Last year, I spoke to a resident of Pozzuoli. Take a look at what he had to say.
Look, we're here because we were born here. But in the end, you never really get used to the situation. Nevertheless, we residents are very calm about the volcanoes. Even though things have been a bit more threatening lately with all the earthquakes, fortunately, the situation has calmed down again. A few years ago, in the 1980s, there was a lot more activity here. And yes, there have been a few earthquakes in the recent past. But these crises come and go. And no matter what the circumstances, we have our jobs here, we have our homes here. We just have to try to live with the danger somehow. But of course, we are undoubtedly aware that we live on a supervolcano. And of course, we always hope that the earthquakes will pass.
And now, the discovery of gigantic cracks beneath the Campi Flegrei as well. What scientists have now discovered may explain what is happening down there. A team led by Giacomo Rapagnani from the University of Pisa has taken a very close look at the seismic data from recent years. And in doing so, they came across something that has never before been observed in the Campi Flegrei.
Very long period seismic signals known as VLP waves. What is special about these signals is that there are more than 2 seconds between the individual wave peaks. That may not sound particularly spectacular at first, but it is a clear indication that there are structures underground that function like gigantic resonating bodies. The researchers explain it this way. We interpret the VLP signals as the resonance of one or more fluid-filled fractures. What does that mean specifically? Imagine you have a huge underground pipe system through which gases and vapors flow upward from the depths. When this system is set into vibration by earthquakes, these characteristic long-period signals are produced. It's as if there were a gigantic organ pipe underground. Analysis has shown that these mysterious structures are located at a depth of about 3.5 kilometers and run diagonally upward toward the surface. They connect the deep magma and gas reservoir with the near-surface gas outlets in the city of Pozzuoli.
Simply put, the researchers have discovered a direct gas channel from the supervolcano to the surface. What's truly fascinating is how stable this structure appears to be. The resonance frequency of the VP signals has remained virtually unchanged since 2018. Simone Caicia from the GFC Helmholtz Center for Geosciences in Potsdam explains,
"The unchanging resonance frequency showed us that the fissure structures beneath Solfatara have probably not grown in recent years despite constant ground uplift." Is this good news or bad news? From a scientific point of view, it is touching news for now, because it means that the top layer above the magma reservoir is still stable. The researchers currently see no indication of an imminent eruption. However, that does not mean that the situation should not be taken seriously. To understand what is really happening, we need to take a closer look at the geological situation. At a depth of about 1.5 to 2 kilometers, there is an impermeable layer of rock that sits like a lid on the magma reservoir. The gas and water vapor rising from the depths cannot pass through this barrier, causing the pressure to build up continuously. This is why the ground in the region is rising so much. The newly discovered crack structure apparently acts as a kind of pressure relief valve. It allows gases to escape in a controlled manner,
without causing a catastrophic buildup of pressure. This is comparable to a pressure cooker that has a safety valve. As long as that works, the pot won't explode. It's also particularly interesting where these gas emissions occur at the surface. The center of activity is located beneath the city of Pozzuoli, west of Naples.
Here is the Solfatara, a crater about 700 meters in size that was formed during an eruption around 4,000 years ago. In this region, CO2 emissions have risen from 750 to 4,000 tons per day over the last 20 years. A huge amount. I was there last year. Here's a small excerpt.
So we see that for the residents of Pozzuoli, it's normal to live on a supervolcano. But this becomes clear when you take a look into the Solfatara crater. As already mentioned, it is closed off. We're now going to climb to a spot where you can still catch a glimpse into the crater.
The Solfatara is a volcanic crater in Pozzuoli. It is an active volcanic area known for its fumaroles, hot springs, and mud volcanoes. Incidentally, the name Solfatara is derived from the sulfur-containing vapors, solfatare, that rise from the fumaroles, which you can see steaming in the background here. This crater, which is clearly visible from the road here, was formed about 4,000 years ago and is part of the infamous Phlegreian Fields, a large volcanic complex on the Gulf of Naples. The Solfatara here is one of the most spectacular places in Europe to visit an active volcanic system. Although you currently need a special permit to descend into the crater, visitors can still get a great view from the road and watch the smoking fumaroles and smell the sulfur.
Now it really feels like we're standing on a supervolcano. The Phlegreian Fields, or Campi Flegrei in Italian, stretch over more than 150 square kilometers. They are not only known for their beauty and their thermal springs, but also for their intense volcanic activity. And in fact, the area where we're standing right now is classified as one of the most dangerous supervolcanoes on Earth. And it's quickly clear why. The Phlegreian Fields contain an incredible number of over 50 eruption centers. It is speculated that there must be an underground connection between the magma chamber of Campi Flegrei and Vesuvius, or that they might even share one. But that's not entirely clear yet. By the way, the technology the researchers used to make this discovery is pretty impressive.
They used what is known as moment tensor inversion to locate and characterize the source of the VLP signals. This involves analyzing the seismic waves recorded by various measuring stations. From the minimal differences in the arrival time and characteristics of these waves, the scientists can then draw conclusions about the structure underground. What the study also shows is how complex volcanic systems really are. The Campi Flegrei are not just a few craters with magma sloshing around somewhere underneath, but a highly complex network of magma chambers, gas channels, and geological structures. The fissure structure that has now been discovered is probably only a small part of a much larger system. The discovery is therefore extremely relevant for the several million people living in the Naples metropolitan area. Even though there is currently no acute danger of an eruption, it shows that the supervolcano is anything but dormant. Italian authorities are monitoring the situation around the clock with one of the densest seismic networks in the world. And research in the Campi Flegrei is also important because it helps us to better understand volcanic processes in general. What happens here could also provide insights into other supervolcanoes around the world. Think of the Yellowstone volcano in the USA or the Toba caldera in Indonesia. Similar processes could be taking place in all of these places.
Overall, the conclusion remains that the stability of these geological structures is good news. However, further earthquakes are likely to occur in the near future. And then the question will naturally be whether this seismic activity will gradually affect the stability of the entire system. I will keep you updated on all further developments. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel now, and don't forget to give a thumbs up so we can hit 5,000 likes. And now let's travel to local waters to the North Sea.
My next video is about Doggerland, which some call the Atlantis of the North Sea. This mysterious land was buried under the waves by a mega tsunami, and today researchers are certain that people lived there at that time.
What's the story behind Doggerland? And could it really be Atlantis? Let's take a look at that in the video shown at the top right. Be sure to click on it. It's really fascinating.
Below on the right, you'll find another video about science and space. Otherwise, I'd say see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.